It is 11 o'clock at night. You have a deadline tomorrow morning. The work is not done. In fact, the work has not even started. But your laptop is open. The screen is bright. And you are watching your 4th episode in a row. You tell yourself just one more. Just 5 more minutes. Then I will start. But you already know how this ends. You have been here before. Many times. And every time you make the same promise. Next time will be different. Next time comes, and nothing changes. So here is the question that actually matters. Why? Why does this keep happening? You are not stupid. You are not lazy. You know what needs to be done. You know the cost of waiting. And yet, you wait. Today we are going to answer that question. Not with empty motivation. Not with just believe in yourself. We are going to look at the real science, what is actually happening inside your brain when you delay. And then we are going to build a system, 4 proven tools that will help you finally win this fight against yourself. Because this is not just about finishing a project on time. This is about your money, your career, your future. Every single day you delay something real is lost. You just cannot see it yet. Today, that changes. Before we begin, a quick note for English learners. This lesson is for people who want more than words. It is for your mind, your future, your courage. Now let us start. Let us start with a lie that almost everyone believes. The lie is this: procrastination means you are lazy. You have probably told yourself this: I am just a lazy person. I do not have enough discipline. Other people are stronger than me. But this is wrong, completely wrong. Procrastination is not about laziness. It is not about being weak. It is not even about time management. Procrastination is about emotion. Here is what is really happening. When you face a task, a difficult report, an important phone call, a financial decision you have been avoiding, your brain does not just think about the task, it feels something: anxiety, boredom, self-doubt, uncertainty. And in that moment, your brain does one thing automatically. It looks for a way to escape that feeling. So you open YouTube, you check your phone. You tell yourself you need more information before you can start. You clean your desk. You do anything except the thing that matters. This is not laziness. This is emotional avoidance. And understanding this changes everything. Now there is another lie, a very popular one. Maybe you have said this too. I work better under pressure. This sounds reasonable. Some people even say it with pride. But research does not support it. What actually happens under pressure is this. You finish the task, yes, but the quality is lower, the stress is higher, and the results are worse than they could have been. You do not work better under pressure. You just work because you have no other choice. And here is a number that should make you stop and think. A researcher named Piers Steele at the University of Calgary studied procrastination for over 10 years. His conclusion: roughly 95% of people procrastinate to some degree. And around 20% of adults are what he calls chronic procrastinators, people whose habit of delay causes serious and repeated damage to their lives, their finances, their relationships, their health. 20%. That is 1 in 5 people. And most of them, like you, perhaps are not lazy at all. They are smart, they are capable. They simply have a war going on inside their heads that they have never fully understood. A writer named Tim Urban described this war in a way that many people recognize immediately. He said that inside every procrastinator there are 2 forces. The first is your rational decision maker, the part of you that knows what to do, understands the results, and makes good plans. The second is what he called the instant gratification monkey. The monkey does not care about your goals. The monkey does not care about your future. The monkey only cares about right now. What feels good right now? What is easy right now? What is fun right now? And here's the painful truth. Most of the time, the monkey wins. Not because you are weak, but because you do not yet have a system to stop it. So let us be clear about what we are really dealing with. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It is a brain pattern, a loop of emotional discomfort followed by escape, followed by temporary relief, followed by guilt, followed by more avoidance. You are not broken, but you have been lying to yourself. And the first step to winning is to stop. To beat an enemy, you must understand it. So let us go inside your brain. Let us look at exactly what happens in the moment you decide to delay. Your brain has many parts, but for this conversation, two matter most. The first is called the prefrontal cortex. This is the rational, logical part of your brain. It sits at the front, just behind your forehead. It thinks about the future. It makes plans. It understands cause and effect. When your prefrontal cortex is in control, you think clearly. If I do this work today, I will be ready tomorrow. If I invest this money now, it will grow over time. The second part is called the limbic system. This is older, much older. It is the emotional brain, the part that kept your ancestors alive thousands of years ago. The limbic system does not think about next week. It does not care about next year. It only responds to right now. Is this situation painful? Escape. Is this situation pleasurable? Move toward it. Immediate. Automatic. Powerful. Here is the problem. In the modern world, your limbic system cannot tell the difference between a dangerous situation and a difficult spreadsheet. To the emotional brain, both feel like a threat. And when something feels like a threat, the limbic system fires. It sends one signal: avoid this. Get away. Find something safer. And your phone is right there. Your sofa is right there. The kitchen is right there. This is the brain war. Every time you sit down to do something important and uncomfortable, your prefrontal cortex says, do the work. And your limbic system says, not yet, later, somewhere easier. Most of the time, without the right system, the limbic system wins. Now let us talk about dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical in your brain. People often call it the pleasure chemical. But that is not quite right. Dopamine is actually the anticipation chemical. It fires when your brain expects a reward. Here is the dangerous part. Your brain releases dopamine when you scroll through social media, when you get a new message, when you click on an interesting video. These actions give your brain a small, fast, easy hit of dopamine. They feel good. They feel safe. They feel rewarding. But doing real work, writing a business plan, studying for an exam, building your financial future, these actions do not give you dopamine right now. The reward comes later, much later. And your brain, remember, is not good at waiting. So your brain does a simple calculation. Easy reward now, or difficult work for something I cannot see yet. Every time you pick up your phone instead of starting your task, your brain is making that same calculation, and it chooses the path of least resistance. This is called the dopamine hijack. And it is happening to almost everyone, almost every day. But there is another force working against you, one that is even more invisible. It is called temporal discounting. This is a natural feature of the human brain. We automatically value things that are close to us in time and in space more than things that are far away. A reward today feels bigger than the same reward next year. A cost today feels worse than the same cost next year. This is why it feels completely logical to say, I will start saving money next month. I will begin that project next week. The future version of you feels like a different person, someone else's problem. But here is the brutal reality. Every month you delay investing. Every week you delay starting that business. Every day you delay the work that matters. The cost is real. You just cannot feel it yet. Let me give you a simple example. Meet Marcus. Marcus is 38 years old. He is intelligent. He has a good job. For 5 years, 5 full years, He told himself he would open an investment account. He knew he should. He read articles about it. He watched videos. But every time he sat down to actually do it, he felt overwhelmed. Too many choices, too much to learn. He told himself, I will do it later when I understand it better. 5 years passed. Because of temporal discounting and compound interest working against him, those 5 years of delay cost Marcus not just time, but real money he will never recover. The investment he could have made at 33 would have had 5 more years to grow, years he can never get back. Marcus is not a stupid man. He is not a lazy man. But his brain, like your brain, like every human brain, was working against him, and he did not have a system to stop it. There is one more layer we need to address, because for many people, the real root of procrastination is not boredom, it is fear. Fear of failure. If I try and I fail, that proves I am not good enough. So it is safer not to try at all. Fear of judgment. What will people think if this is not perfect? Better to wait until I am sure. Perfectionism. This is fear wearing a professional costume. The perfectionist says, I am not procrastinating. I am just waiting until the conditions are right. But the conditions are never right, and perfect work that never starts is worth exactly nothing. These fears are real. They are not weaknesses. They are very human responses. But they are also the invisible chains that keep capable people from becoming who they could be. Your brain is not your enemy. But right now, it is working against you, and it will keep working against you until you change the system. That is exactly what we are going to do next. We need to have an honest conversation, not a comfortable one, an honest one. Most people think about procrastination as a time problem. I lost a few hours today. I will make it up tomorrow. But that is not what is really happening. What you are losing is much bigger than time, and most of it is invisible, until one day, suddenly, it is not. Let us start with money, because numbers do not lie. If you delay investing a small regular amount each month for 5 years, and that money would have grown at a modest rate each year, you do not just lose 5 years of investment. You lose everything that money would have grown into over the next 20, 30, 40 years. The cost of waiting is not the money you did not invest. The cost of waiting is all the future money that money would have created. This is what happened to Marcus. And this is happening to millions of people right now who tell themselves, I will start next year. Next year is a very expensive place to live, but let us go beyond money. Because there is a cost that is harder to measure and far more damaging in the long run. Every time you delay a task you said you would do, something happens inside you. It is small, so small you almost do not notice, but it happens. You vote against yourself. Think about it this way. Every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you are. When you wake up and do the work, you vote, I am a disciplined person. When you make the difficult phone call instead of avoiding it, you vote, I am a person who faces hard things. When you start the project before you feel ready, you vote, I am a person who gets things done. But the opposite is also true. Every time you delay, every time you choose the easy option over the right option, you cast a different vote. You vote, I am a person who does not follow through. I am a person who cannot trust myself. I am a person who talks but does not act. No single vote decides the election, but over days, weeks, months, years, the votes add up. And slowly, without noticing, your belief in yourself shifts. You stop believing you are capable of real change, not because you failed dramatically once, but because you failed quietly every single day in the small moments no one else saw. This is the identity cost of procrastination, and it is the most expensive bill you will ever pay. There is also the cost to your career. Missed deadlines tell a story about you, whether that story is true or not. Delayed decisions cost businesses contracts, clients, and forward movement. Opportunities do not wait. The market does not pause while you get ready. The job opening closes. The investor moves on. The window shuts. And there is a cost many people do not expect: your health. Chronic procrastination is strongly connected to higher levels of stress, anxiety, and poor sleep. The unfinished tasks do not disappear when you close your laptop. They follow you. They sit in the background of your mind, quietly draining your energy all day and all night. You feel the weight of the undone. Even when you are resting, you are not really resting, because your brain knows. It keeps a list, and it never stops running. So let us be clear about what procrastination is really costing you. It is costing you money, the growth you will never earn, the penalties you will pay, the opportunities you will miss. It is costing you your career, the promotions not given, the contracts not won, the reputation quietly damaged over time. It is costing you your identity, your belief in yourself, your trust in yourself, your ability to look in the mirror and say, "I do what I say I will do." And it is costing you your peace, the quiet, steady energy of a person who has nothing important left undone. This is the full price of delay, not just a lost afternoon. A lost life built one small avoidance at a time. Now you know the cost. So let us talk about the solution. 4 lessons, 4 tools, starting right now. Lesson 1. Design your environment. Here is something most motivational content will never tell you. Willpower is not the answer. I know that sounds wrong. We grow up believing that strong people succeed because they have more discipline, more self-control, more willpower than the rest of us. If you fail, it means you are weak. If you succeed, it means you are strong. But this is not what the research shows. Studies find that people who appear to have strong self-control are not fighting their impulses harder than everyone else. They are simply living in environments where those impulses come up less often. They have designed their lives so that the right choice is also the easy choice. Do not rely on willpower. Design your environment. Every environment sends signals. Your bedroom sends a signal. Your desk sends a signal. Your phone sends a signal. And those signals every single day are either working for you or against you. When your phone sits on your desk while you work, it sends a signal, check me. When your social media apps are on your home screen, they send a signal, open me. When your workspace is messy and covered with unrelated objects, it sends a signal. This is not a place for serious work. You may not hear these signals with your ears, but your limbic system hears every single one. So the first move is this: reduce friction for the things you want to do, and increase friction for the things you want to stop doing. Reduce friction means making the right action easier to start. If you want to exercise in the morning, put your workout clothes next to your bed the night before. If you want to work on your most important project, open the file before you close your laptop at night, so when you sit down tomorrow, it is already there waiting. If you want to save money, automatically set up an automatic transfer to your savings account on the day your salary arrives. You do not have to decide. The system decides for you. Increase friction means making the wrong action harder to start. Delete social media apps from your home screen. Put them somewhere inconvenient. Turn your phone face down. Put it in another room. Use a website blocker during work hours. Make it just slightly harder to reach for the distraction. That small increase in friction is often enough to break the automatic habit. Your environment is voting for or against you every single morning. The question is, have you designed it, or did it just happen to you? Now let us talk about one of the most practical tools in this fight. Brian Tracy, a productivity expert and best-selling author, calls it eating the frog. The idea is simple. Every morning, identify the one task you are most likely to avoid, the task that makes you uncomfortable, the task you keep pushing to tomorrow, the task that if you did it today would move your life forward the most. That task is your frog, and the rule is eat it first. before your email, before your phone, before your coffee if necessary. Do the most important, most uncomfortable thing before anything else has a chance to take its place. Here is why this works. Willpower and mental energy are not constant throughout the day. Research shows that the more choices and tasks you process as the day goes on, the weaker your ability to resist distraction and do difficult work becomes. Your best mental energy is in the morning. Use it for your most important task, not for checking what other people are doing online. When you eat the frog first, two things happen. First, the task is done. The thing you needed to do most is finished, before most people have even started their day. Second, the rest of your day feels lighter. That heavy, guilty weight of the undone disappears. You move through the afternoon with the quiet confidence of someone who has already won the most important battle of the day. Think about how you feel right now when you carry an unfinished task all day. That low background anxiety. That guilt when you do anything that is not the task. That slight heaviness that follows you everywhere. Now imagine the opposite. You sit down, you do the hard thing first, and by 9 in the morning, it is done. The rest of the day is yours. Your environment is not neutral. It is either your ally or your obstacle. Choose to design it before it designs your habits for you. Lesson 2. Start before you are ready. Let me ask you something. How many times have you waited to feel ready before starting something important? You waited until you had more information, until the timing was better, until you felt more confident, until conditions were perfect, until motivation arrived like a bus you were standing at the stop waiting for. Here is the truth that changes everything. Motivation does not come before action. Motivation comes after action. Most people have it completely backwards. They think, first I will feel motivated, then I will start. But the brain does not work that way. Motivation is not a cause. It is a result. You start doing the thing, even badly, even slowly, even reluctantly, and the motivation follows. Not before, after. This means that waiting to feel ready is not a strategy, it is a trap. And it is one of the most expensive traps a person can fall into because it feels completely reasonable while it is destroying your progress. So how do you break out of it? 3 tools. Each one simple, each one powerful. The first tool is called the 2-minute rule. This idea comes from David Allen, a productivity expert and the author of a system called Getting Things Done. The rule is this: if a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. Do not write it on a list. Do not schedule it for later. Do not think about it. Do it now. Why does this work? Because most procrastination does not happen on big tasks. It happens on small ones. The email you need to reply to, the phone call you need to make, the form you need to fill in. These small tasks pile up. They sit in the back of your mind, taking up mental space, creating low-level stress, draining your energy. And when you look at the pile, it feels overwhelming, so you avoid all of it. The 2-minute rule clears the pile, one small action at a time. And each completed action sends a signal to your brain, I am a person who gets things done. The second tool is called the 5-second rule. This comes from Mel Robbins, a speaker and author who developed it during a very difficult period in her own life. The rule is devastatingly simple when you know you should do something. Count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then move. That is it. It sounds almost too simple. But here is the science behind it. When you count backwards, you interrupt your brain's automatic pattern of hesitation. You activate your rational brain and give it just enough time to override the emotional brain's instinct to avoid. The countdown creates a small moment of decision, and the physical act of moving, standing up, opening the laptop, picking up the phone, breaks the inertia. The moment of hesitation is where procrastination lives. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And that moment disappears. The third tool is called implementation intentions. Here is the problem with normal goal setting. We say, I will work on my investment plan this week. That sounds like a plan, but it is not a plan. It is a wish. It has no time, no place, no trigger. And when the week passes without action, we feel guilty, but we should not feel surprised. An implementation intention transforms a wish into a real plan by adding 3 things: when, where, and what exactly. Instead of, I will work on my investment plan, you say, on Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock at my desk with my laptop open and my phone in the other room. I will spend 30 minutes reviewing my savings options. This is not just more specific, it is neurologically different. Research by behavioral scientist Peter Gollwitzer found that people who formed implementation intentions were 2 to 3 times more likely to follow through on their goals than people who simply stated what they wanted to do. 2 to 3 times more likely. From one change in how you phrase your intention. Why? Because your brain is a pattern recognition machine. When you link an action to a specific time, place, and trigger, your brain begins to prepare for it. And when Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock arrives, your brain is already ready to begin rather than still deciding whether to begin. Waiting to feel ready is the oldest trick your brain plays on you. You do not need to feel ready. You need to begin, because beginning is the thing that makes you ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lesson 3. Use the clock against itself. Here is a law that most people have never heard of, but that is quietly running their lives. It is called Parkinson's Law. In 1955, a British writer named Cyril Northcote Parkinson made one of the most useful observations about human behavior ever recorded. He wrote, "Work expands to fill the time available for its completion." Read that slowly. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. This means that if you give yourself 1 week to write a report that could be written in 2 hours, it will take 1 week. Not because the work is hard, but because your brain will stretch it, complicate it, second-guess it, and revisit it endlessly until the deadline arrives. This is not laziness. This is human nature. And once you understand it, you can use it. If open, unlimited time is the enemy, then a tight clock is your weapon. The first way to use this weapon is a technique called the Pomodoro Method. It was developed by an Italian student named Francesco Cirillo in the late 1980s. He used a tomato-shaped kitchen timer. Pomodoro is the Italian word for tomato, and he created one simple rule. Work for exactly 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. That is 1 session. After 4 sessions, take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. That is the entire system, and yet it works for a reason that connects directly to the brain science we covered earlier. Your limbic system resists large open-ended tasks. Work on this project feels heavy, endless, threatening. Your brain does not know when it will stop, and things without an end feel dangerous to the emotional brain. But 25 minutes, that is nothing. Your brain can handle 25 minutes. When you say, I am going to work on this for 25 minutes and then stop, you remove the feeling of endlessness. The task no longer feels like a mountain. It feels like a short, specific challenge. And short, specific challenges are something your rational brain can win. Give a task unlimited time, and it becomes a monster that follows you everywhere. Give it 25 minutes, and it becomes something you can defeat before your coffee gets cold. The second tool in this lesson is called temptation bundling. This idea comes from Catherine Milkman, a professor at the Wharton School of Business. Her research showed a powerful and practical truth. We are much more likely to do difficult or unpleasant tasks when we pair them with something we genuinely enjoy. The concept is simple. You take a task, you avoid, something that feels boring, uncomfortable, or tedious, and you bundle it with a reward you love. But here's the important rule. You only get the reward while doing the task, not before, not after, only during. For example, you only listen to your favorite podcast while doing your financial paperwork. You only watch the series you love while doing your weekly expense review. You only enjoy your best coffee while working on the project you have been avoiding. The result is that your brain begins to connect the difficult task with something pleasurable. Over time, it stops resisting the task because the task now comes with a reward built in. This is not a trick. This is behavioral science. You are giving your emotional brain what it wants, a fast, enjoyable reward, while your rational brain gets what it needs, the work done. Now let us look at how one of the most productive investors in history structures his time. Warren Buffett is well known for many things: his investment philosophy, his patience, his long-term thinking. But one of the habits that makes all of this possible is one that most people overlook. He reads. Constantly. Deeply. He has spoken about spending 5 to 6 hours a day reading financial reports, newspapers, books, industry analysis. And he does not do this when he feels like it. He does not check his mood first. He does not wait for inspiration. Reading is simply what he does, every day, without negotiation. This is the real lesson from Buffett, not the reading itself, but the principle behind it. Productivity at the highest level is not about motivation. It is not about inspiration. It is about systems that run regardless of how you feel on a given morning. Buffett does not ask himself, "Do I feel like reading today?" The answer to that question is irrelevant. The system is already in place. The time is already set. The habit is already built. This is what separates people who consistently produce results from people who produce results only when they feel motivated. Motivation is a weather condition. It changes every day. Systems are infrastructure. They hold. So use the clock, not as pressure, as protection. Give your tasks a clear time container, a specific, bounded slot, and watch how much easier it becomes to begin and to finish. 25 minutes, a tight deadline, a task paired with a reward you love. The clock is not your enemy. It never was. You just have not been using it correctly. Lesson 4. Forgive fast, move faster. We have covered 3 lessons. Design your environment, start before you are ready, use the clock against itself. But there is one more lesson, and in many ways, it is the most important one of all. Because here is something that will happen, guaranteed. No matter how good your system is, no matter how well you design your environment, how many sessions you complete, how many specific plans you write, one day you will procrastinate anyway. You will have a bad morning. You will get distracted. You will reach for your phone when you should be working. You will let the day slip. You will reach evening and realize the important thing did not get done. And in that moment, most people do the same thing. They feel guilty. They tell themselves they are hopeless. They replay the wasted day over and over. They make a big promise. Tomorrow will be completely different. Tomorrow I will work twice as long to make up for today. And then tomorrow comes. The guilt is still there. And that guilt makes starting even harder. Because now the task carries not just its original weight, but all the shame of yesterday too. This is the guilt spiral. And it is one of the most underestimated forces keeping people stuck. Here is what the research says. A study at Carleton University in Canada followed a group of students through their exam preparation period. The researchers found something surprising. Students who procrastinated before their first exam and then forgave themselves, who acknowledged what happened, accepted it without heavy self-criticism, and moved forward, procrastinated significantly less before their next exam. But students who held on to the guilt, who punished themselves, who replayed the failure repeatedly, they procrastinated more the second time, not less, more. Guilt does not motivate. Guilt paralyzes. Self-compassion. The ability to treat yourself with the same understanding you would offer a good friend is not weakness. It is not an excuse to be lazy. It is actually one of the most effective tools for long-term, sustained performance. So the fourth lesson is this: forgive fast, move faster. Here is what that looks like in practice. When you catch yourself procrastinating, and you will, do not ignore it. Do not pretend it did not happen. Acknowledge it directly. Say to yourself, I avoided that task. I chose the easier thing. That was not the right choice. Then do something that feels almost too simple. Forgive yourself. Not with a long internal speech, not with dramatic promises, just a clear, quiet release that happened. It is done. It does not define what I do next. And then, within 60 seconds, take one small action toward the task you avoided. Open the file. Write one sentence. Make one calculation. Send one message. Something real, however small. That single small action does two things. It breaks the pattern of avoidance, and it sends a new vote to your identity. I am a person who recovers. I am a person who does not stay down. I am a person who begins again. You do not need a perfect record. You need a strong recovery. Now let us bring everything together. Lesson 1. Design your environment. Reduce friction for the right actions. Increase friction for the wrong ones. Eat the hardest task first every morning before anything else steals your best energy. Lesson 2. Start before you are ready. Use the 2-minute rule for small tasks. Do it now, not later. Use the 5-second rule to break the moment of hesitation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move. Use implementation intentions. Assign every important task a specific time, a specific place, and a clear trigger. Lesson 3. Use the clock against itself. Give your work a time container. Use the Pomodoro Method. 25 minutes of focused work, 5 minutes of rest. Bundle difficult tasks with rewards you enjoy. And remember Parkinson's law, work expands to fill the time you give it. Give it less time, get more done. Lesson 4. Forgive fast, move faster. When you slip, and you will, acknowledge it, release it, and take one small action within 60 seconds. Guilt is not a motivator. Recovery is. These are not complicated ideas. But simple does not mean easy. Easy is watching another video. Easy is making another plan. Easy is telling yourself you will start tomorrow. Hard is closing this tab right now and beginning. Here's the thing about the people you admire. The ones building wealth, leading companies, creating things that matter. They do not have more motivation than you. They do not have more talent than you. They do not have a secret you cannot access. They have better systems, and they use those systems even on the days they do not feel like it, especially on those days. You now have the same systems. The question is not whether you understand procrastination. You do. The question is not whether you know what to do. You do. The question is only this: what will you do in the next 10 minutes? Not tomorrow, not after one more video, not when the conditions are perfect. Right now, in the next 10 minutes. Because the war against yourself is not won in one dramatic battle. It is won in small daily decisions. In the choice to begin when you do not feel ready. In the choice to recover when you fall. In the choice to act when every comfortable, easy part of your brain is telling you to wait. You already know the cost of waiting. Now you know the system to stop, so stop. If you made it this far, your English is growing stronger with every word you hear. Keep listening every day, and your mind and your English will grow together. Thank you for listening. Now go, the work is waiting.